You're one creative idea away. So what I want to do is I want to introduce a couple of people. So if you guys are backstage and you can hear me, get ready. I'm going to pull a couple people out. I want to introduce a couple of students that, friends even, that have been exactly where you are, where most of you are. In the audience, paralyzed with fear, huge desire, meaning like you're here, so you know you want something, but something keeps blocking you, sometimes for years. But then finally, you take a step of action and get a result. And that's what I want to share with you right now, is some people that took a step of action and got a result. And I want to share these people because even some of them have been friends for a long time, and I've watched them always wanting to succeed, but just never taking action, and finally getting out of their comfort zone. What I'm hoping to do is to give them a mic, and I'm hoping that they can share something of inspiration to you. So when you hear from them, visualize yourself giving a testimonial, visualize yourself overcoming your fear, visualize yourself taking some action as well. Each one of these people is well on their way, in my opinion, to making millions of dollars online. And Joe talked to them a few months ago. Their story is basically like sitting in a conference, wondering if they could actually be the one having success. So let's do some. Michael, do you have a mic back there? Do we have? Are we going to bring them all out or one at a time? Five people. Let's go ahead and bring 5 of my friends out, and I'll introduce them as they come out. Someone has a mic, and we have the beautiful Ella. Hi, Ella. We have John. Ella, you guys want to introduce yourself? Ella, John, you guys come up to the center of the stage. Work the 90th stage. George, Seth, Lawrence. All right, well, hold on. Is that the only applause they deserve for being able to come out? Okay, so this is completely unrehearsed. I didn't get a chance to talk to any of them at all. So, you guys cool if we just do this like casually, without much pressure, without much stress? Is it cool? We'll start with Ella because she's. Oh, looks like you got a couple mics over there. We'll start with Ella. Ella has come to the previous 3C conferences and had her share a story before. Ella, why don't you introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about you and kind of what you've been able to accomplish even recently with some of the success you're having.
Hi everyone, my name is Ella Klassen, and I actually just found out that I'm going up here like 5 minutes ago. So I've been in the industry for a while. I haven't had success for 6 years, so it took me 6 years to finally get around the right people and just learn the right things and finally get successful online. So I've made multiple 6 figures online with a couple different opportunities, and I knew that I can add a lot to the marketplace just by sharing what I've learned over the years. And I didn't really know where to start with that. And when Chris Rickard created Smart Member, I'm like, well, this is the great platform that I can use to share some of my trainings. And I created a membership site with Smart Member and did my first product launch with it, and I generated $128,000 in my first month.
In what time frame? From when you launched to what time frame how long did it take to cross over $100,000 in sales roughly?
I did all my videos and all the trainings. I recorded them before launching it. So it took me about maybe a couple months to actually get ready for the launch. And then I just launched it. I didn't know how it's gonna go. I didn't really have big affiliates on board because it was my first launch, and I kind of just did whatever I knew. And it took me a month to make $128,000 in sales. So my first month. And I'm still excited.
So 6 years of struggling, but having some success in the direct sales industry in a couple of companies. She decided to build a membership site, have a product launch, just from the stuff she was learning. She used Smart Member, like I recommended earlier. Smart Member is a great platform. Took a couple months of preparation to record videos, record content, find affiliates. She didn't really know any affiliates, so she mostly went to people she knew in the direct sales industry, and resulted in your first $100,000 month in business. And $100,000 in a single month. Is that pretty significant?
Yeah.
So how many people when you listen to Ella and you listen to her, it just sounds so casual. She says, yeah, then I just made $100,000 in a month like it was nothing. But how many people can relate to this story of years of it not working, and then finally you get something working, and then you just go for it and you take action, and look what's right around the corner. She had no idea how it was going, and actually she really didn't have much big, I know the affiliate, she didn't have much big affiliate support. $100,000 in a single month. I think that's very And this is John. What is that?
For those of you guys who don't know what platform to build a membership site, I chose Smart Member because it's the easiest thing to use. It's very user-friendly, so even if you're not, technical, it's very easy to set it up there and just get it going and launch your product. And you'll just be surprised how. If you haven't ever checked it out, check out Smart Member for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Ella. All right, next we have John.
I'm John Alfredsson. I live in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Sweden. And my background is in engineering. I have a PhD in electrical engineering from 2008. And then I decided to switch industry and start doing marketing instead. And I moved here to the US in 2010. And I've been doing a lot of different things online. I've been with various success, I should say. And it wasn't until, back in November of last year, Chris promoted a Shopify course and added a lot of great bonuses and software and a great community to it and stuff. I thought it was the right time to get started with Shopify. And the first day I launched my store and I put up some advertising, $40 in advertising. I made 2 sales. I was really happy.
So let's start right there. You launched a Shopify store, spent $40, and made 2 sales, and was really happy. Right? First of all, you celebrate so big. 2 sales is good. No sales, you get a little deflated, right?
Yeah.
So
I've never had
first 2 sales.
Yeah, first sales in physical products in Shopify, in e-commerce. So then the second day I got 9 sales. So and there was 8 different products I promoted, but there was only one that was really working. So I decided to focus.
Wait, hold on. So let's say 8 products, only 1 was working. So essentially 7 failures.
Yeah.
So
7 failures.
You gotta understand, there's failures. If they weren't working, a lot of people get deflated on failures. 8 products, he saw it differently. He's like, hey, I got 1 that's working. Instead of focusing on the failures, you're like, hey, I got 1 that's working, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I decided I'm going to try to scale this up as much as I can. So the third day, I got about $300 worth of sales. The fourth day was up to $900 worth of sales, and then it just doubled to $2,000 and $4,000. And the first week, I had almost 1,000 orders, and I think $13,000 to $14,000.
Dabbled with Facebook ads before, like some other people have.
Yeah, I had some experience with Facebook advertising from before. I've been promoting some affiliate offers with
But never Shopify, right?
Never Shopify, no.
So literally first store, first week.
Yes.
1,000 orders?
Yeah, almost 1,000 orders. It's really crazy. So I actually had to pause my ads because I couldn't handle the fulfillment. It was right before the holidays.
How many people would love that problem? Too many orders, you have to pause all your ads.
Yeah, so then I continued to scale. In my first month, I made $65,000 right before Christmas.
Wow.
And
First month, 65,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And right now I'm at 9 months mark almost, and I'm over 350,000.
Wow.
So went from $40 in ad spend and 2 orders to 9 months later, $350,000 in sales on a platform he had never used 9 months before that, ever before. You guys, it's possible. John's an awesome example. John's going to be helping. You know, we talk about getting experts around and helping with our curriculum developers. John's actually, would you mind spending like 30 seconds or a minute and just talk about the experience of sharing your information with our team? John has volunteered to share information with our curriculum developers to say, hey, if there's anything I can do to help teach this Shopify method to people, I'm glad. John, if you guys like Shopify, wait till you see the course that John is helping us develop with TECademics.
Yeah, it's been a really great experience. Since my background is in academics as well, I have a PhD, and I really like that structure of the academic education. And what they have helped me with putting together this Shopify training in a really great way. I've been working with Joanne, and yeah, she's an instructional system designer.
Yeah, Joanne Gardner, one of our curriculum developers, PhD instructional system design, has been essentially extracting information from John about exactly what he's done to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in Shopify, putting it into a course, and then bringing it back to John and saying, how can let's work together, best of higher education and the online marketing world, to teach this Shopify message to as many people as possible. How many people in this room, just curious, how many people here would personally be interested in learning Shopify from somebody who's generated hundreds of thousands of dollars all last year? Now, let me ask one step further. Put your affiliate marketer hat on. How confident are you to, somebody actually put on his affiliate marketer, put on your TECademics hat, and how confident are you to sell a product, knowing someone like John, who was an actual beginner, not a guru, a beginner, 9 months ago, never used the platform, had success first, then put all of his thoughts down, worked with a team of PhDs, developed a curriculum, and has helped teaching it at our school. How many people here are confident knowing we have that caliber, and he has a PhD himself, that we have that caliber of education at a school you get to sell and make money for? How many people are excited about that? And that's one class of like over 20 classes. It's crazy. So give it up for John Alves. John, thank you for your testimony. Next we have George Bailey, who is, I'm shocked that he's willing to get on stage and get a microphone. I think he's trying to pass it off right now. George I've known George longer than anybody in this room. We've been friends since maybe 13 or something like that. We were young skateboarders growing up. When I told the story about me and my friend escaping that old school lifestyle and a lot of our friends not escaping, it was George that I was referring to. When I talked about leaving and moving 3 hours away with my friend, it was George. And here's the thing. One of the main reasons I'm an entrepreneur and have had the success that I've had is because I had one friend, out of all of our crazy friends, I had one friend who was always an opportunity seeker. Ordering all those infomercials late at night, flipping through the classified ads and finding little business opportunities, joining them all, and showing me all this stuff he was doing, and I was always enthusiastic about it. He joined multi-level marketing companies and would recruit me into them. This is George. I owe my whole entire entrepreneurship journey to George. So if you guys like TECademics, you can read some of the foundation of it right here. George, feel free to share. I don't even know who you're saying about, but feel free to share.
Okay, awesome, Matt. Honestly, we have like so many stories and years. I don't even know where to really start, but I got to say, right off the bat, I am absolutely privileged to even be up here because with these other people I'm standing with, because there's so many different avenues to make money online. And honestly, like I always had the belief that you can make money online one way or another. The problem is with myself and many others is like there's almost information overload in the marketplace. And so not too long ago, actually, I just kind of defined that I think like a long-term, stable way to make money online was e-commerce and Shopify specifically. So it's funny because here I am standing up here, and Seth's my partner here with Shopify, so he's going to talk and kind of fill in my gaps with the numbers and stuff. But we just made a decision maybe 90 days ago, I think, since the last 3C conference, that really I want to focus my energy and effort into e-commerce, specifically Shopify. I spent the last several years prior to that doing a lot of Amazon and eBay and spent thousands of dollars in courses there. Learned a lot, but it's just like a fire hose. It's like these courses that you spend thousands of dollars for. It's like you have to be a real sharp student which I wasn't. I was probably like an average C student, and it's just like there's a lot of information. But over the years, I've been able to figure out how to make money online here and there, but just always kind of falling into that shiny object syndrome that I know a lot of people have an issue with. But the long story short, 90 days ago or so, I think it was 90 days ago, I just said, look, I'm just going to get laser focused on a strategy that I believe in, that I think is long term, and the trends are upwards. More and more people are getting online shopping for the first time ever, so I just had Shopify. And Seth, I know Seth, we've known each other for years, in previous ventures with Chris and stuff, and so we decided to say, pull the trigger on Facebook ads and driving traffic to our e-commerce site through Shopify. And so, the last conference that Chris had, 3C out here, we just said, okay, we're going to do it. Within 30 days, and I'm going to let Seth cover the numbers because I don't even know how much we've actually done or when it started, but the fact is, when we made the decision to start, within the first week, we started doing hundreds of dollars a day in sales through Facebook ads, and a lot of that has to do with Seth. But the fact is, we started learning from people like, Lawrence here and John. Like, the big thing is getting focused and figuring out what you're going to do, and then find the people or the instructors or whoever might be to find the source of people you're going to follow and just stay focused on that. And that's kind of what we did. So in the first 30 days or so, I don't even know what the exact numbers are, but I know we started hitting $1,000 to $2,000 days with 50 to 60% margins, even some days 70% margins on Shopify through Facebook ads. And honestly, it's exciting stuff, but it's like, I don't really. The biggest thing is just get focused and figure out what you're going to do and just take massive action immediately. What John said here, John said he took the course, because I actually think I was on the same webinar, because that's where I started getting some ideas on it. But you said you took action like day one, right? Like basically that same weekend you took action and started doing something, right?
Yeah, it took me about 2 weeks to set up my store and get through the course and stuff like that, and training them and started promoting it.
See, and that right there is one of the key things that I've learned over the years, going on over a decade working with Chris, just being an entrepreneur, is just find something, stay focused, and take massive action as fast as you can. And you got fired up over 2 sales and $300 and 2 sales. I don't even know, like what you said, 2 sales kept you fired up, right?
Yeah, because it was automated sales pretty much. Because I put up some Facebook ads and drove traffic to my store, and the sales just were just coming in.
Yeah, see, it's awesome. See, I'm sitting here standing next to John. I'm a newbie. Honestly, we're like 90 days in this decision. And here I was last night. We sat down and talked for like 2 hours in the lobby. I was just picking your brain. Here's this guy going to be an instructor for the whole concept, because he's actually a do-it-first leader on a decision. And I'm right there with him. I'm sitting here, I don't even know what the heck we're doing half the time. I just know we're making money online, do the Facebook ads. And we got like Lawrence over here. He's going to get his story. I'm not going to get into that. But the fact is, we're in the right environment. The fact is, everyone that's here that's serious about making money online and getting laser focused and taking massive action on something that's going to change your life financially, we're all in the right spot. It's up to you, and it's just, I get fired up about this stuff. So anyways, I'm going to get off on a tangent, and everyone, Chris probably knows it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass over to my business partner, Seth, which is pretty much the numbers, analytical number, he's a Facebook guy. So, but the fact is, we're all fired up, and it feels good to be able to share what little success we're starting to have, and it's only going to grow, and we're going to do it together.
Let's give it up for George Bailey. And this is his partner, Seth Johnson. They're on the Shopify store at least. Seth is one of my core friends in Roseville. When I go to visit my kids and go take my kids out in Roseville, Seth is one of my friends there. We hang out all the time. And just last couple weeks ago, we were there sitting around at a restaurant. We're sitting there talking about these campaigns that he has going and all these things. And it's just exciting. It's exciting to have an opportunity yourself to learn, but it's even more exciting when you watch your friends have success. It just feels good to know that anybody who applies themselves can make money in this industry if they really go after it. So Seth, why don't you share the story of what you guys have been doing and what results you're getting?
Yeah, so I guess first off, let's just like to say that I've had the privilege of being friends with Chris and watching him do this stuff in the background for a long time now. But for whatever reason, I didn't want to jump into it myself. Facebook ads and all this stuff. Like I kind of dabbled in here and there, but honestly never took it seriously. And it wasn't until me and George here decided to just make a decision and just go for it that actually things just started happening fast. So yeah, I'd say once we made a decision and started on it, we were hitting $500 days within a couple weeks. Then it scaled to $1,000 a day, then $2,000 a day, off and on. It wasn't every day, but yeah, I just say like once you just start taking action on stuff, it's where you really start to learn stuff. And stuff that you think you knew before, you learn so much more just by actually going in. So.
Well, let me ask you a question before you pass the mic there. So, are 100% of your ads successful? Do they all work?
No.
No.
No,
So
that's
failures.
the thing. I test a lot of stuff. I test. I mean, just go wild with testing. The more you can put into testing, the more you learn from the things that did work. And those things that did work, you start scaling those out into other countries, other interests, other niches, demographics. Yeah, so I mean, it's just you just gotta put it out there. And not everything will work. Not everything will be a winning ad. Not everything will be a winning campaign. But the more you put the numbers out there, something is gonna pan out eventually. And that's when that success happens. Is when that breakthrough happens.
Now, again, before we pass it on, one more thing. Notice how both of them were kind of on their own thing, kind of learning about e-commerce, but never really taking that kind of serious action. And then at one point they got together and said, you know what, maybe do it together. For a lot of people, this might be the thing that you need too. To find somebody else, kind of like a partner to be able to do this with, or a friend or something like that, and say, let's learn it together. Let's go through this course together. Let's go through TECademics training together. People like John put together all the education. Let's go through John's class together. Let's learn from this and let's do it together. Maybe complement on each other's strengths. You heard George referring to Seth over here as kind of the numbers guy and the guy behind the ads. They each have found kind of ways to be able to work together. And maybe all you need is a partner to kind of just motivate you to actually get out of your comfort zone, overcome your fear, and just do something. Because I've watched these guys, they've had the skills actually for ages. One of my go-to guys to run like half my ideas past, seriously, is Seth. I go meet up with Seth whenever I'm in Roseville. We meet up for like hours at a time and I run half my ideas past him, literally. He's one of my go-to guys. So I kept always asking him, like, when are you gonna start doing all this stuff? And now they're doing like $1,000 days, $2,000 days, crushing this out, and watch, when we check back in 3 months from now, who believes that they're gonna be on track to have a store that will be generating over $1 million a year? Anybody believe in these guys? Thank you for coming out here and sharing.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
This is Lawrence, but you already know.
What's up, everybody? I am sweating. Woo! My name is Lawrence Aponte. I'm currently residing in Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. My online journey started about a year ago. It was actually by mistake. I was just kind of scrolling through the Facebook feed, and I seen a shirt that I was being targeted for, and it was super resonated. It said, American grown with Puerto Rican roots. And it just kind of, yeah!
Hold on. First things first, I know you got the story here. American grown with Puerto Rico roots. This is an example of a print-on-demand shirt that wouldn't sell well in stores. You guys understand, it would never sell in stores. Nobody would carry inventory of that. But when you have the exact ability to target somebody with Puerto Rican roots who's American grown and target specifically those people with that shirt, he said it felt like it was like speaking to him, like it was made for him.
Yeah, it was crazy. I just was so baffled that Facebook knew that information about me, that I was American, and so immediately my brain just works kind of weird sometimes. I just clicked on the link and I wanted to see exactly, what that was, and it ended up being like a print-on-demand platform called Teespring. And basically what that is you can make your own designs, upload them to the site, and sell them to the masses. So immediately my brain started working, and I saw the Puerto Rican shirt, so I kind of wanted to do something similar. And so I made a shirt, and it said, once you go Rican, you won't stop freaking. On how everything worked, but I knew I had like a really good phrase, and I just kind of threw it on the shirt, and I thought it would sell, so I put it on there, and I didn't get any sales. So, so I'm a part of a bunch of these Puerto Rican groups on Facebook, so I just started literally just spamming these groups with my shirt, saying, hey, buy this is a cool shirt, and nobody bought it. So I was like extremely disappointed, and I was just kind of like, wanting to do more research on exactly how Teespring worked, and they actually had something called Teespring University, and it kind of introduced me to Facebook ads really at a basic level, and that's when I started dabbling, and I came up with a couple other shirts, And I'm living in Texas at the time, so Texas is a really prideful state. So I seen a shirt, and I was doing like some research, and I seen the shirt, and I said if I switch a couple of words around and put Texas in there, I think I can sell it to the Texas crowd. So it basically said, I'm a beer drinking, gun loving Texan that your mother warned you about, or something like that.
Mother warned you about?
Yeah. And
Gun toting, beer drinking Texan that your mother warned you about.
that was the shirt. We ended up selling about like 100 shirts. Within over like a 7-day period, and I was super happy. We had about like $1,200 in profit, and that was like my first experience. So there was a bonus being offered at the time on basically how to scale a winning Facebook ad, and I thought I had the winning shirt, so I wanted to know how I could kind of squeeze all of the profit out of it. So I bought this course. And it was a course based on Shopify, which I had no interest in, but my interest was in the bonus on learning how to scale an ad. So I went through the bonus, applied the techniques, and we ended up selling about 300 of those shirts in total. So it was great. That was over about 2 weeks. We had a little bit of money, and then I actually dove into the course, and it was on Shopify. Basically, it was grabbing products from a supplier overseas, putting them on your store and selling them to the masses. And I started with about $100 in cash, bought the course for $47, left me with $53. I had a $250 ad credit, because Facebook will give you like a credit, they'll front you some money. And within like the first 14 days of our Shopify store, we had generated about $10,000 in sales revenue. So yeah, I knew I was onto something, and I just continued just launching more products and just kind of trying to figure out these Facebook ads along the way. And then that's when I seen Chris, and he was on Periscope at the time, and he was just dropping straight value on these video ads and whatnot. And I was just eating it up, and I was like, man, who is this guy? And we just always went on there, and I started following him. So anytime he would jump on, I would just start watching him, like, oh man, this is crazy. And he was always just dropping value about Facebook ads, and I would apply that to the Shopify store. And within like 90 days, we generated over $100,000 in sales.
Wow.
You've grown from there. Well, first of all, a couple things there. There's a couple little side nuggets of information here. One is, he just said he started following me on Periscope. First of all, anybody heard of Periscope out here? Okay. So I was just going on Periscope. Remember the KLT factor? What does KLT stand for?
No like trust.
No like trust. So essentially, we didn't really know each other, but because I was going on Facebook Live, remember that awareness and building your brand and building your personality? I was going on there, so that's how he found me. That's how he got to know me. The like factor came through. I went on there, remember serving value? Remember I said serve a bunch of value to people, give them stuff for free? That's exactly what I was doing. And remember the teacher mindset versus the student mindset I told you about? I was going and learning. I was even taking courses on Facebook ads. I was learning some stuff. And then I was like, I need to turn around and share this. So I would go on Periscope Live and just share it. This is before Facebook Live. And I would just share it. So keep in mind, and then trust factor, eventually we ended up doing some business together as a result of that. But it's interesting how all the stuff I was teaching about are things I actually do. You know what I'm saying? I actually learn and then figure it out and then go and find a way to hold myself accountable by teaching it. And then someone like Lawrence stumbles across and is like, dude, this is crazy good value. He was always popping up on, whenever I go live, he popped in and be like, hey, what's up, man? He's back here again. And that was before we had ever met, okay, or anything. And so I just want to say, there's side notes here. I don't know if you're understanding. What we're teaching here are things that actually work to be able to attract people into your following. People like Lawrence that can come on and basically say, hey, because of you, you introduced him to TECademics, and he was able to go and build a Shopify store that crushes out hundreds of thousands of dollars because you were providing free value that brought you in, and now he's part of your team. This is how you do it. So I just want to say, if you listen to the story, there's lots of side things going on here. But the reason I want you to keep going is because you didn't just quit and give up after 90 days.
So,
you kept going, right?
Yeah, I was following Chris on Periscope, and then I kind of started doing some reverse engineering, and I actually found out that he had a high level mastermind, and I just kind of wanted all that information on it. So I ended up finding out some information, and then I contacted him, and Peter ended up calling him, and he was like, yeah, we run like a high level mastermind, whatnot. I just was ready to take my stuff to the next level. So before he even said anything, I said, yo, I'm in, let's do it. And I ended up joining the mastermind, and he said 2 weeks later we were having a meetup in Sacramento, California, which I ended up going to. And Chris was training us, and he was talking about the duplicating process, and it hit me because I was like, oh wow, I already had one Shopify store up. So he was talking about duplicating it and just changing it up a little bit. So I thought if I could apply that to my current situation, we can generate another 6 figures. So I did exactly that. I was just on a rise, and I had that momentum going. So we started up another Shopify store, and within like 45 days, we actually did $100,000 in sales in that one. Started another one, did the same thing, and currently, we're working on the fourth.
Wow. Wow.
Multiple 6 figures from multiple Shopify stores. And I'm going to tell you, prior, without going into your whole story, because we're just doing testimonials, but at least like prior to this entrepreneurship, you showed me some of your paycheck stubs. Woo! Well, he was bankrolling, he was balling before this, so he didn't need this money. This is just extra money. Right? You were balling. How much was your weekly or monthly paycheck stubs?
Yeah, so I was making about like $210 a week.
He showed me his paycheck stubs. I was like, what? You're making $210 a week.
Yeah, and it's funny because the job was like at a seafood warehouse, and I'm actually allergic to shellfish. So every day I go back and I have like these hives, and then so I prevent the hives, I would have to take Benadryl, but then I'd start falling asleep. So I mean, it just was, yeah, it was bad.
But paid well.
Yeah, I mean, $200 a week,
$200 a week,
$800 a month. Rent was $750.
And you also showed me you had that player's card.
Yeah,
You had that Big Boss player's
the
card.
Big Boss player's card where you could just buy food from Walmart.
What was this card called?
Food stamps?
Food stamps. So you can tell us the whole story another time, but man, from $200 a week and food stamps to when did you start your first Shopify store? Roughly how many months, years ago?
It was like 1 year and 4 days ago.
1 year ago. Now I know you guys also can't hear this because you can only hear what the mic is saying right there. But their phones, they all have their phones set to the cha-ching sound every time a sale comes in, and it's been cha-chinging over here the whole time. I don't know if the camera can zoom in. Is that something you can show the camera? See if you can zoom in on the camera. This is just right now. Like he's just active sales. I don't know if the camera. It'll take forever for it to get there. But yeah, like these guys, pull up one of yours. Pull up one results thing. I mean, rather than just be like, oh yeah, I'm making money, whatever. I always just get these guys. They can log right in, show where they are at any specific time. We don't need to, but let's see. Oh, you want to do that one? Show them the zoom in. I always like showing stuff. Where's the camera? Right, this one? Right here? They're over here like brainstorming. Okay? Yeah, last time they show like the camera right there. Can they zoom in? No, yeah, that one or this one. Up there. Okay, they can't zoom in. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I'll read it. So like last 7 days, 12,000 in this one store, 12,833, 13,000 visitors, 654 orders, got open orders. Looking at the sources of traffic, source number 1, mobile Facebook. Source number 2, Facebook desktop. Source number 3, Facebook international. Source number 4, Facebook. Source number 5, Facebook. Source number 6, Facebook. It's all Facebook ads running to. Okay, wait. Before these guys get off, you heard testimonials. Let me see if I can at least give a little bit of nuggets of knowledge. Let's pass the mic. I'm going to ask each one of you one question because we got a little bit of time. Let's start with Ella real quick. So we essentially have e-commerce stories, testimonials, and we have a product launch affiliate marketing testimonial. Okay, so a little bit of each. So just real quick, rapid fire questions. So Ella, what if somebody out in the audience wanted to kind of create their own course or whatever? Let me ask you a couple questions about, first of all, what was the topic that your product launch was about?
I actually thought about it when you talked yesterday about Instagram shoutouts. So that's exactly what I teach in my course. It's called Insta-Optins. If you guys want to check it out, instaoptins.com. And
She teaches Instagram. Remember how we're talking about you can make money literally teaching people Instagram? She made 6 figures in a month teaching people Instagram. Shout
yeah,
out.
I just found out this strategy, how you can get a ton of leads. I think I got like over 100 leads a minute from Instagram. So, and I'm like, I want to create a course about it. So I did. And that was my product launch.
So,
But I took massive action. That's the secret, is when I learned about that strategy, I right away put together kind of like a plan, what I'm gonna do, what the videos are gonna be about, and shot all the videos right away, and then launched it in a couple months, and yeah, it did well.
now, and one more question. So, when you say you shot all these videos, did you go to like a professional Hollywood recording studio and have cameras on you and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars?
No, I just used my laptop and ScreenFlow to record my screen, and then record. Actually, I didn't even record my face.
No.
I just recorded my screen and did the training like that.
She literally just went on and recorded her screen, and that's what the whole course was. It was just screen recordings on her computer. You don't even have to put your face on it. You can put your voice was on it.
My
Your voice
yeah,
over.
my voice was on it, and it was just easy. I just recorded the screen. The videos are really short. There's only like 12 videos, so it wasn't like this massive course like dark post-prod.
I do like 150 videos.
I had like 12 videos. They were maybe up to 15 minutes long. And I just put it together really quick. I put it into SmartMember and started selling it.
Pretty cool, right? I'm just trying to show you guys it's simpler than a lot of us think it happens. Okay, let's go to John. Ask a rapid fire question here. So I'm just surprising them too. They have no idea how long you have for, what they're saying. And George is like paralyzed with public speaking. This is actually the longest I've ever seen him speak. He's a professional, yeah. So John, the question I want to ask for you is, there's a lot of people in here that have never set up a Shopify store before. This isn't a big Shopify course right now. We're going to be teaching Shopify at TECademics. But what I want you to share, if you can, is like, if somebody right now is interested in setting up an e-commerce store, I got 2 questions for you. One part of the question is, would you recommend like setting up a store and filling it with hundreds of products, or would you recommend on just like one product at a time? And the second part of the question is like, what are some like example niches that like someone should try to focus on just to start, just to try it out, get some practice and experience, even if it's not making money?
Okay. Yeah, I would not recommend to put up thousands of products or even hundreds of products on a Shopify store. I would recommend to choose a niche and then just choose or select maybe 5, 10 products and put up on your store and try to promote those. And yeah, to start with that and see if they are working well. And when it comes to niches to promote, I think passionate niches, people that are passionate about what they're doing, is a very good sign that they're also going to be good buyers. So if you can find products for passionate niches like sports, animals, pets are good niches. Religion can be a good niche. Faith, yoga, yeah, a lot of different yeah.
So a niche, meaning a category that of something that people are passionate about, because when they're passionate, they want like everything in their house to be all about that, right? You guys know sports fanatics, like they have everything sports, or somebody who's like a dog owner, like a pit bull owner. They're really proud that they're a pit bull owner, and they want to display it on like their coffee mugs and their clothing and their jewelry and stuff like that. That's what he means by a passionate niche. And what he said was, instead of trying to build out a big store, start with 5 or 10 products, and you're essentially 5 or 10. You're hoping for one to be sell.
And you don't even need to start with 5 products from the same niche. You can like 5 different niches and create a general store and try to promote all of them with different ads. And when you find one that's working, you can focus and go deeper on that and look for more products around that top niche.
So what he means by that is that when you set up an e-commerce, so Shopify is an e-commerce store you set up, and you don't need to know code or anything. A general store is a store with a general name, like John's Discount Club or whatever, John's Discount Gear. That's like a general store, kind of can sell anything. A niche store would be like Pitbull Fanatics, That would be all things related to like pit bull owners or whatever, right? So a niche store is something that's very specific. You're tailoring just to that niche and you're sticking within that niche. A general store is you're like, hey, I'm just going to experiment, throw it out there, kind of see what the market might want. I don't want to overcommit myself to pit bulls because maybe I can't sell anything there and I don't want to be stuck there. So that's kind of so he's saying, hey, you might want to start with a general store, a few different products, see if one of them hits. When you get one that actually works, keep trying until you get one that works. When you get one that works, you scale it up.
Yeah.
So we'll teach more when we get into TECademics. I just wanted to give a little bit of value for each person that's here this weekend to kind of decide maybe e-commerce is something that you might want to explore and get into, or maybe product launches is something you want to explore and get into. These are all examples of people doing over averaging over $1,000 a day in online marketing, or even $2,000 a day or more. Okay, pretty far. Let's pass the mic down. Thanks, Sean. The question I want to have, I'll ask George and Seth. You guys can tag team this. The question I want to ask is. For your main products that are selling, well, actually, first let me ask you. So, $1,000 or $2,000 a day, is that coming from primarily one product, or is that coming from like 5 or 10 or 20 products?
Yeah, it's coming from about one. It's mainly one product. I mean, it's one niche, and we have one product and a supporting product that we kind of so it's basically 2 products in total, but like 90% one product.
So, $1,000, $2,000 a day with one product. Do you guys feel like? How many people feel like it's a little bit easier to manage a store with one product than trying to figure out how to manage a store with dozens of products from dozens of different suppliers, right? Okay, let me ask you another question here. So, how does e-commerce work in terms of, some people in the audience might think, okay, so you're probably buying crate loads of this product in bulk, getting it to your garage, and then shipping it out? How are you getting the product?
That's actually, I mean, some people do that, and I always, that's got a lot of risk to take on that's not necessary, and I learned a lot of this from Lawrence, whether he knows it or not, but there's very, very little risk in what we do as far as the product side goes. We don't need dropship. Dropship is actually the key thing.
What's the best way to explain dropshipping to a newbie?
Well, dropshipping is easy. I mean, like the real risk in the Shopify side of things, and I know these guys will probably touch on it too, is the advertising dollar. You need to find people that have a passion for something. You got to find something that people are actually going to be motivated to buy, and usually starting with someone's like a passion and target audience, people that like pit bulls or wine, like we're in the wine niche. Realistically, if you can get the sales coming in from the ad spend, then once you collect the money, then you go buy the stuff and have the supplier or manufacturer drop ship it right to the doorstep. So you're basically just kind of like the middleman.
So just real quick, I don't know if anybody caught that. He's got a picture of a product on his website. A picture. Somebody clicks to buy it. The money goes to George and Seth. Then he buys the product from a wholesaler. That wholesaler ships the product directly to the customer. He never touches the product.
And yeah, we keep the difference.
And he keeps the difference. So let's say a customer gives you $10, and you go buy the product for $5 from this other person, give the shipping information, and that person ships it out. You never touch any product, never anything, you just keep whatever the split is. Sell for 10, buy it for 5, you make $5. That's drop shipping. Does that seem a lot simpler than some people think e-commerce really is, right? No inventory, no touching products, and you can go and you can experiment. What I like about drop shipping is, let's say the product doesn't work. You just show another product and find another supplier and try another product. You just keep experimenting until you find one that sells. And you said you're in a passionate niche. I don't ask them a lot about their niches, and if you guys see them in the hallways, here's the questions not to ask them. Don't ask them what's your store URL. Don't ask them what their website is. Don't ask them what their specific niche is. Don't ask them what their products are. Don't ask them to show you their Facebook ads. The reason is because the issue is that it's unfair to be like, if they show you all this, then most of you are going to go ahead and compete with them. Even if you say you're not, you're just going to basically flood the marketplace with similar stuff. Just don't do it. Be respectful of them being able to keep some of their stuff to themselves. Ask general questions like I'm asking. I'm actually teaching you how to ask questions when you meet people in e-commerce. Respect their privacy for their niche, for their audience, for everything. Can you guys all agree to do that?
Yes.
Just one last thing I'd say overall, I'd say the biggest learning lesson I've learned, not even just from Shopify, is you just gotta be willing to fail. And I know Chris talked about that. If you really see the common factors, that you just can't be afraid to fail. 7 out of 10 ads are gonna fail, 8 out of 10 ads are gonna fail. Even in general in business, 7, 8, 9 times you're gonna fail before you hit it, and that's what you gotta look at. Is just be willing to fail at least 10 times, and hopefully it'll hit in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But if you're not willing to fail, you might as well just stick with the job, and that's kind of like the lesson I have to give overall then.
So Seth, my question for you is, we talked about the product side. You guys are in a niche, you're really focused on one product with a supporting product. You don't have to go into that. Let me just ask you a couple of questions about the product without you giving the big details. So like, what price range? So you guys are doing a couple $1,000s a day, so that product must cost hundreds of dollars, right? How much per unit is the product?
About $7.
7, so are you selling it for 7?
No, it's what's called a free plus shipping offer.
Okay, hold on. They're giving away the product for free, and they're making a couple $1,000s a day. So let's explain this. It's called free plus shipping. It's a model that we're going to be teaching at the school in very, very specific detail, literally very broken out. So, without a whole course on it, what's the best way to kind of, for newbies out here, what's the best way to kind of explain this free plus shipping model that you guys are doing?
Okay, so the free plus shipping is, you're just, you're finding a product that you think people are gonna want, and you're doing a giveaway for it, but you're stating right up front that this product does require a shipping cost. And now, you're turning around, buying it for your vendors for, say, between $1 and $3, roughly. And you can charge between, low $6 up to $10, depending on the perceived value of your product. So, if your product has a higher perceived value, then you might want to charge more. But you're making the spread, you're still making the spread between that. And people wind up sharing, and the post winds up going viral because they're sharing it to their friends, hey, come over here, get this free, just pay shipping.
Okay, a couple notes there. He's creating an ad is it a picture ad? What type of ad?
I do video, but I test both. I do picture and video.
Okay, so we talk video ads? He does video ads. And then you also have picture ads, which is a picture of the product. Maybe it's like a necklace, let's say. You put like a necklace, you put a picture, limited supply, free, just pay shipping. Or the next one under free, just pay shipping. Whatever it is, it's a free giveaway. And then what he said is, it goes viral. It goes viral because of 2 things. One, you're targeting a passionate audience, like a freaking Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican loves freaking. You're targeting I forgot to butcher that one. This Puerto Rican loves freaking. You're doing a target audience, like we talked about, like an example would be that I show in a lot of trainings is like you target like women who love. I showed you the other day women who love horseback riding, and I showed you real quick that little pendant that was like the shape of a heart that had a horse in it. So you're targeting only people that see it are women in the newsfeed. You can make it only women see it, only women who have interests in like horseback riding and horse trails and horses and horse-related keywords. So they're seeing this product that resonates with them, the same way a shirt resonates with him. They're seeing this, and then you put on there that it's free. It's a free giveaway. So free automatically attracts them. They click on it, they go to the website, they go check out, and they just pay shipping and handling. And he's saying he charges between like $6 and $10 shipping and handling based on the perceived value. If it looks really amazing, people might be willing to spend $10 in shipping. If it looks a little bit cheaper, maybe they'll do $6. How does it make sense? Let's just say you spend $9.95 shipping. How on earth do you make money giving a product away for free like that? How do you make profit on it?
Well, most of our customers buy multiples. On almost every order, people buy between 4 and 10, sometimes more on average. So you're talking $20 to $50 orders, even though you're talking about a $5, a $7 shipping product. It's $7 shipping, but you're charging per additional item as well. If people want more, you're charging for those additional items. So you wind up with an order value that's still much higher, and you might be making $5 on each one that customer orders. So your order value might be $20 an order in profit. It can be, and it's easy to make money that way.
Okay, so in a nutshell, for anybody that's a beginner here, watch what you can do. Just watch this. You choose a niche that people are passionate about. You find a free product that some seller has that he said is like $1 to $3 for like a little necklace or something like that. You put an ad that shows this necklace, it's free plus shipping. Your cost is like $3. Maybe you're charging like $10 for shipping. So the spread is $7. But you still have to advertise on Facebook. So now you have $7 of potential advertising budget. If you can acquire a customer for $7, if it costs you $7 to acquire a customer, you break even. If it costs you $5 in advertising to get one customer, you've made $2. If it costs you $2 in advertising to get one customer, you've made $5, right? $2 in ad spend, $3 in product spend leaves you with $5 in profit. Do you understand that? So if you can sell one product and make $5 in profit, and there's potentially millions of people in that niche, then you can learn to scale up the ads, and you can sell 1,000 of them and make 5,000 in profit. You can sell 10,000 of them and make 50,000 in profit. Do you get that?
Yes.
The whole idea is just experimenting with different products. I love the free plus shipping model. It's a great way to just experiment and try. You never have to touch the product, and if it doesn't work, pause the ads and find a different product and try again. And don't, like George said, don't be afraid of failure. So do you have any last words or tips or anything for anybody in here that's considering whether or not they should go into e-commerce or even come learn this? Do you recommend this as a strategy for the average person, or what type of person?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely something that most anyone can do. You just take the time and take some action, you know? Free plus shipping is a great way to start. You don't have to. You can make money selling at retail as well. Once you've tested, you know, and you found a product that works, start moving into retail. Start selling things that are higher priced at full retail, you know? And you can also build up an email list by then. So you can sell those same customers you've already gotten in the door, you can sell them other related products in that niche.
So awesome. Okay, let's transition over to Lawrence. He's got a mic here. Let me piggyback on Seth's questions to see how much of this you're doing. So have you done free plus shipping?
Yeah, so that was the first store. That was the base model was free plus shipping, and basically we were just giving away a bracelet and charging like $7.95 for shipping, and you know, 90 days later we made about 12,000 units, and that was
12,000 bracelets.
Wow.
so yeah, gave those away, and then when we duplicated the store and switched it up a little bit, we actually went the retail route, and we started selling you know, a higher priced product, and that's when we did, you know, the same 6 figures in a 45-day time span as opposed to 90 days.
And what price range was that?
$38.
So you found a higher perceived value product, 38. So you charge 38.
Correct.
What was your wholesale cost to buy the product?
$7.
Okay, so you found a product at $7 that you can buy unlimited supply or lots of supply.
Oh yeah.
So yes, you found a good $7 product that he thought a passionate audience would want. $7. His cost is $7. He puts the picture, whatever, on a website with an order form that says, hey, it's $38. He tests it with advertising, figures out people will buy it for $38. Once you get 1 sale or 5 sales, you know you got your hands on a winner, and then he starts scaling. He keeps the spread. That kind of a spread, which is essentially like $30, gives him a good margin to be able to spend in advertising. So now he can be a lot more experimental in advertising and try all kinds of stuff. Picture ads, website clicks ads, video ads, retargeting ads, pixel conversion ads, or really anything. He can probably even, with $30 profit, he can probably go into other networks and go, I want to try YouTube, I want to try Instagram ads, I want to try whatever. We have that kind of a margin, but notice he didn't start there. He started something much simpler. A free plus shipping offer, figured it out, said, okay, now let's step up and let's see if we can sell something for $38. And he found his price point, stuff like that. The next question, let's talk about what types of ads. So selling a $38 product, are you mostly selling on Facebook for that?
Yeah,
There's all those types of ads I showed, like 12 different ads people can place on Facebook. What would you say are your main ad types you use? What types of ads?
I usually use what's called a website conversion ad. That's my main go-to, and I also run the boost your post. So those are the main 2 ads.
Okay, real quick, write this down. Can you guys please write this down? His main type of ad he uses to sell products is called a website conversion ad. And then the second one is a boosted post ad. So on your Shopify store, let's explain this to a couple beginners. On your Shopify store, a website conversion ad is what I was talking about the other day, where you put a